G'day guys, it's Jimmy here and welcome back to the Rugby Podcast Show. Yes, it's been a while since we've done an episode and I'm really excited to be back. It's been probably since the World Cup since we last did one, so I thought that, and people have been asking me, you should do a Rugby Podcast Show. Again, we really enjoyed that, so yeah, I'm back guys, back for full of episodes. In this episode, what we're going to do is that we're going to talk about the All Blacks test matches against South Africa instead of the usual review and preview stuff. We're going to go deep dive into that, and in other episodes what we're going to do is that we're going to look at the Argentina test series against Australia, and also the NPC, which has been some great games, especially Tasman winning the race for the Shield. Just thought I should get that in there, because it was a great achievement. First time since about 70s, I think, when Marlborough beat Canterbury, I believe. Anyway, I could be wrong. Anyway, that'll be a later time, and also the Black Ferns series coming up, end of year tour against England, which I believe is on Sunday actually, which is a little bit bizarre, because normally they're in November, I think. Anyway, boy, what a couple of test matches. I thought that the All Blacks really stood up to the occasion, especially in Johannesburg, and also to a certain extent in Cape Town. And I thought after the first test in Johannesburg, I scratched my head. I was like, how on earth do we lose that test? Because we did everything to win it, and also everything to lose it. And I think the two biggest things is our patience and discipline that I think need to improve, and to take on Australia in the Bledisloe Cup. I would like to see a couple of things. So Scott Robertson, if you're watching, mate, and you need somebody to go up to the All Blacks coaching staff, I'm here, mate. I'm right here. I thought the big difference in the two test matches, I thought, was our game management. Where, like, leading up to the last 15, and also before the last 15 minutes, I thought that in both test matches against South Africa in Johannesburg and in Cape Town, we were really good at upping the tempo. Okay, and I think that's what the All Black team needs to do a lot more of, is up the tempo stuff. Because when it slows down, we can't quite counter that yet. And I've got a couple of ways to counter that. So, and I thought that our forwards, the likes of Tubu Vai, Scott Barrett, Sam Cane, Cody Taylor, all had their best test matches. I thought Tubu Vai and Scott Barrett, especially in the breakdown, Sam Cane in defence, and also Bols Satiti in his test debut as well. I think he had a game where he didn't start. He just came on leaps and bounds, didn't he? So there were some world-class performances on that. And I thought that when the All Blacks, I feel, they look to spread the ball out wide too many times, especially off first base. And I felt as though that the Springboks nullified that really well. Whether it's the Springboks when they had the ball, look towards the space. And what I mean by that is post contact. So when you get tackled, you then look for your space and look for the outside shoulder and try and go through him, around him as opposed to through him, and keep using the lead drive. And I thought the likes of Jasper Wiesen did that really well, and Peter Steph Toy did that well, Sia Kalisa did that well, and Igor Naismith had one hell of a game. I thought he was immense. for the Springboks, and its carries and its line-outs and its scrums. And I think South Africa know who they're about. They're about set piece. They're about their foreplay. And then when they have an opportunity to use their backs, they do, and they did, because there was a couple of turnovers there, especially when we were in their 22, and we lost the ball forward. They turned over the ball from that and then ran the length of the field to score. Well, nearly scored. They didn't quite score. They knocked it on, I think. And yeah, so I think for us to really improve against Australia, we need to look for that. Look for instead of looking to go wide, we don't use pods. We need to use a lot more pick and goes. Not one off runners, but two runners on the outside as well. Because I feel as though South Africa nullify the pods really well, and that's where the rush defence comes in. And I think with the rush defence, the weakest point is around the fringes at the breakdown. I believe, because it's that split second decision off to go for them, and then the little short pass inwards, like which we did a couple of times. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that in their experimentation. So instead of using pods, use two runners instead of three, because two is better than three, I think. Yeah. And I felt as though when the All Blacks have been really successful over the years, we've gone to a game plan, and you can see that, whereas you can't quite see that at the moment. At the moment, it looks like, let's spin the ball out wide to the edge, and then hope for a bit of magic for one of our wingers. That you can't really do that at international level. I believe that you got to build up a platform with pick and goes, with not one off runners but two runners, one ball carrier and a sport player, and that way you earn the right to go wide. And South Africa did that really well a couple of times, especially in the last few minutes of the game where they sealed it, and Malcolm Marks got in the corner. They just worked around, pick and go, and then went wide. We did that. Don't get me wrong. We definitely did that a couple of times, and we almost scored of it. But again, we just weren't that clinical enough, and I think that's what we've got to be against Australia. Is that we've got to be clinical, and we've also got to be patient and direct. So if we tidy up those three things really well, then I reckon we'll be all good and we'll be too hot to handle. Because our skill level is top quality. Our skill level is really, really good. And I think that we have that advantage over Australia at the moment, going forward into the Australian Test matches. But we need to change something when we play South Africa, and also the end of year tour sides. We can't go wide all the time against those guys. We've actually got to be patient and go up the middle. We're not too far off. Couple of tweaks, and I'm a really, really big believer in Scott Robertson and what he can do. I think he's a great coach, and I think when he was coaching the Crusaders, we had it. I'm a Crusader supporter, so yeah. We had a DNA under Scott Robertson, and that was set piece. Whereas he's got the best players in New Zealand at the moment, and he hasn't quite found this team's DNA. And I think this team's DNA going forward will be more direct, go wide, set piece. Because when our set piece is dominant over teams, that's when the All Blacks are scary. And that's when the All can score tries that the world has never seen before as well. And also, if Ian Foster, I don't like saying this much, but if he was the coach this time round and he lost those couple of tests, the public will be on him straight away. But yeah, I know that we need to we need to be patient, but just remember that. Yeah. All right. People put the hate on Foster for no reason, but yeah, we need to realize that everyone makes mistakes in games, and we need to move on from that. For a better performance, and hoping for a better performance against Australia in Sydney and in Wellington. Just be careful when comparing the two coaches. That's all I'm going to say. Don't know why. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's been a really, really fun episode. Actually, I've really enjoyed it. And we will see you guys in the next episode where we're going to talk about the NPC. Wellington play Otago tonight at 7:00 in Dunedin, and then Shield Challenge on Sunday against Tasman. But we'll talk about that in the next couple of days or so. But welcome back, guys, to the first ever rugby podcast. And look, I'm a big fan of Scott Robertson, and I hope that the All Blacks can turn around. And I believe that they definitely will turn around. Because we are the All Blacks.